Firefighters in California say they have finally turned a corner in their efforts to contain deadly fires that first broke out about a week ago. The fires are blamed for the deaths of at least 40 people. Nearly 6,000 homes and businesses have been destroyed.
The Sonoma County Sheriff estimates 140 people are reported missing, but they say that could be in part because of communication problems. Evacuation orders remain in place for 75,000 people. 15 large fires are still burning across the state. CBS News correspondent Mireya Villarreal joins us now from Santa Rosa. Mireya, you've been following these wildfires since the very start. What's it like there now, nearly 1 week later?
You know, what's surreal about the situation is driving up into the Santa Rosa area and seeing things look normal. I mean, traffic is normal. Construction is happening on the highway. People are going to work. Businesses and shops are open. Hotels are open. But then you start to, as soon as you get into the outskirts to the city limits of Santa Rosa, you start to actually smell the difference between the real world and what's happened here. And then you drive up to these scenes and you just can't believe what you're seeing still. I mean, hundreds of homes have been destroyed, and these aren't homes that are out in rural areas where you often see a lot of these wildfires. I mean, these are in the heart of Santa Rosa. Buildings, businesses, homes, people have nothing to come back to. So it has been a very interesting story to cover, to say the very least. Sad is the perfect word.
Right, exactly. Well, the firefighters at least say that they feel they've turned a corner in regards to battling these fires, but it's still far from contained. So what are the biggest challenges that they are facing to get these fires fully contained?
I think what you have seen over the last week is the biggest factor in containing these fires is absolutely weather. Second below that is probably resources, and not because they don't have them, but because they are stretched so thin. I mean, this fire started Sunday night of last week, so we've been going now on a full week. Some of these guys at one point were working more than 24 hours at a time because the fire was that intense. During the middle of last week, what we saw was a concern about not just the heat conditions, but also the wind that picked up roughly Wednesday into Thursday. Over the weekend, there was a huge concern that more fires would be started, not just here in Northern California, but all around the state, because on the south side, you have the Santa Ana winds that are coming up, and on the north side of California, you have the Diablo winds. So obviously, CAL FIRE was very concerned about this weekend's weather. Luckily for them, for the crews here, things were fairly calm. Firefighters on the ground were able to get a really good line started. These containment numbers are such a big relief this morning for firefighters, because it gives them an opportunity to not just see progress, but also continue with other efforts besides just fighting the fire. Now they're going to move into the recovery phase. So really, it was a lot of just the weather that was hindering these efforts.
Mireya, you've witnessed homeowners return back to just complete devastation. What are those people saying to you?
That's a tough question, because you realize that these people have lost absolutely everything. And you're not just talking about their car or the structure of their home. I mean, you're talking about people losing some of their most prized possessions, photo albums of their children, trinkets and traditions that have been passed on from generation to generation that was kept in their homes, special jewelry, special toys for the children. All of that is gone. And then on top of that, you have the parts of their life that identify them. So some people ran out of their homes without their passports, let's just say, or the deed to their home or to their cars. So having to start all over again is amplifying, I think, people's loss at this point, because they see the devastation physically in front of them. And then they start to realize, how am I going to turn off my electricity today? What am I going to do to prove to people that I lived here before? Where's my mail going to go? It's all of those logical things that we just take for granted on a daily basis that is starting to hit these families and make them realize that this is going to be a very long recovery process.
Yeah, Mireya, as you were speaking, we had some photos popping up, and we had an image there of a woman literally sifting through the rubble like one would do if they were taking part in an excavation right there, I guess searching for something of her former life before this fire.
It really is, it is an emotional story, not just for them, but for us in the field, because you realize that you don't know what you would do if you were in this position. And they become, you're right, they become the construction workers sifting through the rubble, looking for any little piece to cling to help them rebuild on.
Yeah, very heartbreaking. Mireya Villarreal, thank you so much.